Hey, Kelly, can you hear me?
Hold on. Anything else plugged in?
Do what?
Alright,
Can you hear me?
you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me, Kelly?
Tell me what else to do.
Shit, alright. She unplugged her earphones. Um,
My fucking computer sucks.
alright. I suppose I should send her my regular number.
Because I need to talk to your crazy ass. Because I'm about as crazy as you are right now.
Oh, thank goodness. I mean, somebody's gonna do something. Just fucking leave the terrorism to me. I'll do it without killing people. Holy fuck.
Unplugged. Fucking piece of shit. Fucking. Oh, hold on, hold on. Shitballs, hold on, hold on.
Okay, okay.
I put this on mute all the time. Damn it. Just fucking work. This fucking piece of shit. Fucking computer. Hold on. I'm working on this. You there now?
Yes, ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, shit. My computer's a piece of shit.
That's alright. As far as Molotov cocktails, I don't recommend it. Leave the terrorism to me. I'll do it without getting anyone hurt. If we can find a way to do it without that, I would prefer that. I tried every other option before I lit a fire. I guarantee it. I literally I called everybody that I could. I begged for help from everybody that I could. I talked to every officer that I could possibly get a hold of that I thought might be able to help. I mean, literally, when I lit that fire, it was my only option. So before you go talking
I
about,
know it. Straight up.
all right, I didn't want to do that crazy shit. I was left with no other options.
Okay, are you a witch, though?
No.
Do you know how to do it?
How to do witchcraft? Or how to make a Molotov cocktail?
No, do you know how to be a witch? And be, I mean, a bad witch or a good witch? Yeah, hello, welcome to freaking Yellow Book. I have someone fucking with me right now.
Um,
Hardcore.
I had some
And
friends. I had some friends that were into Wicca. One of them was Jamie, but she doesn't talk to me anymore because I exposed her ex-boyfriend for beating the fuck out of her.
was he a warlock?
No,
Or
ma'am,
did
he
he
was just an
suggest he was?
asshole. Do what?
Did he suggest he was?
Nope. He suggested I was a waste of skin. He's only twice my size. I think he could probably take me if he got lucky. Even
Oh,
Gimpy.
sweetheart, I'm on Lannis scale right now. I have beaten up people. Mark Hogan beat the motherfucking shit out of him.
Why?
Because he is a pedophile. And because I was nice to him, and I let him stay in a van with another guy I was with, not sleeping with, and he continued to beat me up with his shoes. I'm sorry, I finally got kind of pissed off.
He beat you up with his what?
His shoes. You know, I was like, dude, okay, you can stay in here, whatever. That's cool. Dude, you don't even know what goes on out here. There's Slim out here. Oh, I've gotten with her in a way. But this guy, Mark Hogan, look it up. He's a sex offender. So was Benjamin Harvey. In case anyone is ever figuring this out, you have to look up Texas, though, for that one. Fucking Boulder Rights Watch, I've told Darren, I've told him, dude, stop using Benji.
Well, I look at it like this. Ben was a human being, whether he did that or not. I still look at Ted Bollinger as a human being, and I know he raped his fucking daughter. Me and her had more than one conversation about that. I started telling her about the shit that I grew up in, and she fucking let it loose about Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger. I mean, and I can't bring myself to kill either one of those son of a bitches.
You're not allowed. And here's the point, though. Because I did date Benji. I never slept with him. He couldn't get it up. Alright? Point is, when you're using that as your fall guy for this whole, dude, he died on Christmas Day. And yes, I know. His father sent him money. But when it comes to fruition, it's going to be he's a sex offender and it fucking destroys everything. So what we need to use is CJ. And told Darren O'Connor a million times. CJ. She has nothing.
Well, you need to fill me in on everything that happened with CJ. Let me know everything that you know about that.
Okay, you want to know?
I absolutely must. The more people speak out about these things, the more of a case we have.
CJ was my best fucking friend.
I know that.
Okay. Michael Braxlett lives 3 doors down from me. He slept next to her when she died. She had scleroderma.
She had what?
Kicked out of the shelter. Scleroderma. You gotta look this up. It's Scleroderma. It's a condition where her blood vessels didn't recognize hot or cold.
All right. I understand that. I know a bit about physiology.
Okay. That's what she had, scleroderma. So she was kicked out. Okay, at the time I was kind of freaky-deaking, fucking around with Ariana.
Yeah, I know Ariana.
Yeah, apparently she's doing porn films.
Well, you gotta make a living, right? I try not to judge people for that unless they're judgmental, in which case I'll throw it in their face the same way they throw it in my face. But
oh, wait, let me tell you about Ariana. Because she was stalking me. Like, I would go to Baseland. She was there. I'd go to the park. So I pulled her ponytail. I got a harassment charge over that shit. There's a lot you don't know about me. And I know there's a lot I don't know about you.
I try to be an open book. You remember who I used to be?
Yes, I do. Do you remember me walking up to you and saying, Mariah is pulling bullshit on you? And you're still talking to her and, thank you. But Mariah's now best friend. But she pulled bullshit on me. And I was not happy about it.
A lot of people did. I'm pretty used to it. A lot of people were scared after what happened. A lot of people. A lot of people threw me away because they were afraid of being retaliated against. And a lot of people have been retaliated against. The Boulder police across the state of Colorado have taken part in harassing people that tried to help me. And it continues, including a former 911 operator and her mother. They refused to take a report from them about a woman who's threatening their life, making false police reports, and has outright assaulted her children. I mean, this is not a joke. I know.
Sean, can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything you want.
Is there, because I read this, is there any instance that there was any kind of stalking?
With me?
I mean, please, I'm asking.
You mean with me stalking someone?
With Natalie, yes.
Oh, absolutely not. What happened with her is that her mom had certain opinions because of my age, because I was homeless, and because I literally have driven across the country for the young woman. Natalie was scared shitless of her mother's opinion. After I left Virginia, you know Maddie Boa?
No.
Well,
I mean, I looked it up, but
she's one of the meth dealers that was down there for a while. She hung out with Derek Apodaca. You know, he goes by Thor.
yes, I know Thor. The big ass motherfucker?
No, different one. This is the Native American Thor. He goes by Thor. Derek Apodaca is his name. He goes by a lot of different names. But
Talking about who lived in Longmont.
He's a homeless guy in Boulder. I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture of him after we're done with this. As far as the stalking goes, see, here's the thing. Natalie got a hold of me. When I hurt my back, I couldn't travel more than a block. The Boulder Police Department literally bullied me into trying to kill myself. And it was when I was going to the bathroom to kill myself, I got 37 Vicodin from DJ Wow. And I was going into the bathroom in Starbucks to kill myself. Do what?
I know who did. Okay, I'm dealing with a bullying situation right now, and I want to hear this as well.
Alright, well, you were asking me about stalking, so I'm letting you know what happened. So Natalie rescued me from that. She told me that, and I didn't tell her that I was suicidal at the time or that I had those Vicodin in my pocket. But she told me that she was going to kill herself 100 times, but the reason that she didn't was because she thought of me. She used to think she was in love with me. That's not a joke. I'll send you screenshots of this shit.
I'm just going to believe you.
Well, I don't want you to believe me. Everybody believes me because I'm always honest, but then they can't verify any of it because they never look at the evidence. So I'm going to send it to you anyway.
Okay, you know my email address.
Anyway, she, well, make sure you text it to me. Don't tell it to me because I won't remember it. Anyway, she, was telling me that she used to think she was in love with me and that, she was going to kill herself 100 times, but thinking of me was the reason that she didn't. She filled me in on her ex-boyfriend, Tim Beeson, and her dad and the things that they did to her, and we became friends after that. The Boulder police, Natalie rescued me from them. Do what?
Did her dad do shit to her?
Her dad raped the fuck out of her and fucking...
I don't want to know anymore than did he do shit to her.
Alright. But anyway, so she wanted to be in Colorado because I was there, but she also needed to get clean. She wanted to go see her family in Virginia. Well, at first, her sister was gonna, they were gonna drive there, and they were gonna come see me in Chapel, Nebraska. I was only supposed to be gone 2 weeks. I just needed to heal up my back a little bit and not have to carry around that fucking backpack. It was killing me. I fucked my back up good. So
Sorry.
then they couldn't, because they weren't going to drive, and Natalie was going to get on an airplane to go to Virginia, and she wouldn't get on the airplane unless I went down there to see her first. So I went down there to see her, and we planned it out, and me and Maddie Boa and Natalie and Alicia Bollinger were all going to meet up, but I had to coordinate with my Aunt B, her niece. Her name's Shauna. Her and her boyfriend gave me a ride down there to go see them, but none of them answered their phones. So Natalie didn't want to get on the airplane unless I promised her that I would go to Virginia. And so I promised her I would go to Virginia. So she got on the airplane and she went to Virginia. And then she called me one night and she said that she was having a hard time. Her family, no matter what, they kept on fucking harassing her and haranguing her about being on heroin, and she swore up and down that she wasn't, and she said that she was going to kill herself if I wasn't already on the road. I was already 2 months late showing up by then, and fucking 6 hours later she ran her car into a fucking tree. So I made sure that I made it there. On the way there, my friend Jamie ended up getting beaten up by her boyfriend. She needed a rescue, so I went up there. I let Natalie know so that she wouldn't be fucking freaked out. I turned around because I was on my way to Virginia from Chapel, Nebraska. I turned around at the truck stop in Missouri. A man gave me a ride from there back to almost Chapel. I had to get my vehicle fixed. I got it fixed. I made it to South Dakota. I rescued Jamie, and I hit the road immediately to go back and see Natalie. Well, when I got to Virginia, and I was in contact with her the whole way. When I got to Virginia, though, I let her know I was coming over, and she let me know that I couldn't come over to her house. Her mom would not understand, not even close. So
I get that.
I was staying at a Starbucks on Military Highway. She said that I was on the wrong Military Highway, that she lived on Military Highway South. So her sister was telling me that her boyfriend works at a Starbucks that's over by the mall. They came and got me at the Starbucks that I was at, and we went to Virginia Beach. We had a great time. They had a couple of drunk assholes with them that basically made it suck, but it wasn't about them. It was about Natalie. That's straight up. I mean, you remember Moose?
Yes.
I was supposed to see Moose while I was there, and he was in jail. I was also supposed to see Mahalia Jean Pierre. I'm sure you remember her.
Hold on, name again?
Mahalia?
Yes.
Yep. So she needed a rescue as well. She was living with a guy who she had gotten kicked out of her place. She had a baby, and the guy that she moved in with was demanding favors in exchange for her staying there after she'd already paid rent. So I was going to rescue Mahalia as well, but she got on a plane to Boulder, so I didn't need to rescue her. So instead of it just being a 2-week trip, I planned on staying there about 4 months, just long enough to make sure that Natalie was healed up. But then, like, I didn't really feel comfortable being there. You know, I didn't know anybody else there. Everything that I had set up as far as the safety network goes had all fallen through. And her sister, while we were out there at Virginia Beach, she's like, you know what? You're going to stay behind my work. I work at a cricket store. And Natalie used to work there, but she didn't work there anymore. So I stayed behind Alicia's work like she had asked me to, and I went to the Starbucks where her boyfriend worked, and you know me and Starbucks, they're really good to me, so I make sure that
You are always at the Starbucks after all.
That's right. And was I or was I not good to those people?
You were fantastic.
Exactly.
And that was before they started pissing off homeless people, but you were always there.
Well, that's the thing. When they started doing that homeless people stuff, it's because I went to Montana to get my teeth yanked. Nobody was picking up the garbage. Nobody was cleaning up shop. Nobody was in there to
Nobody's
regulate.
cleaning up shit here anymore.
Anyway, so then we went to they invited me to a few other places, and we went. On my birthday, it was supposed to be me and Natalie. She had been telling me that she wanted to talk to me since I got there. I wanted to talk to her. She had some important shit that she needed to tell me. And on my birthday, her mom found her heroin. And everything went to hell after that. And I fucking left. I mean, I on my birthday, I was in the McDonald's parking lot, and my birthday's in October, you know? It's not supposed to be hot as fuck, but it's fucking Virginia, so it was hot as fuck. I sweated like a motherfucker, and I lost a lot of fucking water. So, I was having a severe panic attack about her sister fucking texting me some mean shit over a phone that didn't fucking work. It was Natalie's old phone. I don't know what happened to it. I'd like to know the story with it because it was broken to all fuck. It looked like somebody used it for BB practice.
Still have the
I don't. I broke it in Virginia. Or in South Dakota last
you
year.
should have sent that over to the police.
You know, I wanted to, but the police fucking didn't give a shit. They didn't want to listen to me. The thing is, by the time the police were involved, I'd already broken that phone. You know, I'd been trying to get the police involved. They wouldn't. When I went up to South Dakota to see Jamie and the boy, I heard Jamie having sex in the bathroom. It fucking flipped a trigger in my head, and I was trying hard not to fucking flip my shit. You know, I mean, Jamie's the one woman I thought I was in love with because I'm a fucking dumbass. But I went outside and I broke
Don't
that
even
phone.
worry.
I broke that phone right in front of her son. I didn't realize he was standing there, and I fucking stomped on that phone, and I fucked up my foot stomping on that phone, and, you know, I didn't mean to, you know, I lost my shit.
Still have given it over. Even stomped them.
No, by the time that I stomped on it and I threw it away, I didn't realize that Natalie was going to get shot in the fucking head. All right? I'd already dealt with a whole fucking year of that shit. I was in contact with Joanna Taylor, and she was going to help me, but she just kept on texting and shit. But anyway, what ended up happening in Virginia is that I was severely dehydrated. I was having a panic attack about Miss Jerry and Lana and all of them being fucking dickheads to me and ditching me, and fucking Candace lying out her ass at me, and it was fucking hell. I mean, I lost a lot of people, and a lot of people died, you know? That was in Virginia a year before Natalie was killed. When I broke the phone, I was in Virginia a year before Natalie was killed. I was visiting her a year before she was killed. All right, so it was a really fucked up situation. And I ended up going to her house to try to explain to her the phone's not fucking working. Your sister's being a bitch to me over shit that I can't help. The phone won't fucking work. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that when I was typing that fucking shit because I was angry at people on Facebook that it was going to end up programming that in and fucking sending that every time, because the cracks on it are right over the call button, right over the send button, right over everything, and it fucking does its own goddamn thing. And I'm like, I fucking don't want this phone, you know? But when I got there, the GPS told me to make a U-turn, and I made a U-turn, and it didn't occur to me that, like, that was the wrong place to make a U-turn. And obviously I programmed the phone in on the GPS to go to her house, but when it said to make a U-turn and I made that U-turn, like, there's her house. I'm staring right at it. My fucking steering wheel is free floating. It's not fucking working, and I'm fucking pushing on the gas, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm fucking scared shitless, and a car drives by me, and it's fucking honking its horn, and it fucking scared the hell out of me, and I was afraid a family of 6 was going to come around that corner and crane into the side of me and fucking kill all of us. So I fucking laid on my horn, and I was fucking holding on to that shit and fucking wanted to make sure that nobody got smacked. And I couldn't turn to my right and look because I was afraid. I didn't want to see it coming, you know. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So I fucking kept my eyes forward, and her mom came out of the house and she mouthed the words, "I'm going to call the cops." And I said, "Thank you." I mouthed the words, "Thank you," because I needed help. I was stuck in the fucking road. I'm severely dehydrated. I haven't slept in 5 fucking days, you know? And by this point, I already knew that she was on heroin, and I was fucking freaking out, you know? And I'd already called Joanna and let her know not to send the tattoo stuff to Natalie's house, because if she's on heroin, I don't want her selling that stuff. That was a birthday gift to me from them. It was from Joanna Taylor and, you know, Lexi Woods?
Yes, I do. Sean, slow down a little bit because I know you get really, really angry.
I'm not angry. I'm fucking excited. I relived that shit so much. I'm not angry. I'm frustrated, and I'm not angry. I'm so not angry. But anyway,
You're hurting.
the cops showed up and they put me in the back seat of their vehicle, and they made a bunch of promises that weren't true. I explained to them what they were going to do and what was going to ultimately happen, and I was right. They gave me a piece of paper and released me from the hospital. They also told me that I have diabetes, which they were wrong about. I have the hospital paperwork in one of my bags here, by the way.
Because you got to be careful with that.
Yes, I'm certain I don't have diabetes. I eat way too much starch. If I was diabetic, I'd be dead as a fucking doornail after all the bread I eat, all the pasta I eat. Yes, I would be a fucking corpse if I had diabetes. That is not a joke. I had foot rot, is what it was. Just the doctor.
No, that's not good either.
Well, of course it's not good, but like, you know how it is when you're homeless. The most important thing is fucking socks.
No shit.
Right? So,
I just gave Lana socks and shoes today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for looking out for her. How's she doing? I guess the whole thing is, when that happened and I was in the back of the police vehicle, and Natalie is extremely high risk, you know, I mean, she was down there selling drugs for her dad. Do what?
Please explain high risk.
Do what?
Can you explain how she's high risk?
All right, so she was a victim of sexual abuse by her family, and she was not heard by her mother, and she held a lot of animosity for that. She was on heroin. She was addicted to meth. You remember Cash?
Yes, I know Cash. I just saw him the other day, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's one of her exes. That's how risky she was at dating people.
Oh, Cash is risky as fuck.
Right?
I'd never thought that dick.
Well, it's not just Cash. It's also, did you know that Maverick branded her? Anyway, her and her sister.
No branding.
No, branded. You know, like a hot iron, branded her and her sister.
Branding is.
Oh, all right. You said branding. I'm sorry. I thought you said brandy, like the name brandy or the drink.
No, I know what branding is.
All right. So anyway,
either do that or you get a tattoo. Kind of the same thing.
She was in a really fucked up situation with her family. I didn't know that when I met her that she was down there selling drugs for her dad, but her dad got her into heroin and methamphetamines and used that to do a lot of really bad stuff to her.
Dad?
Her dad, yes, ma'am. Anyway.
My dad is a shit. But... Oh.
Right? Anyway, so, when I left Virginia.
Just out of curiosity.
I didn't hear your question.
Does she have brothers and sisters?
She does. She's got a twin sister. I don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know. I really don't know. She shared information about that with me. She didn't say anything about him doing that to her sister or anything like that. And her sister had hinted at someone doing something like that, but I really can't say that her dad was the one that did it. I do know that her uncle as well raped her. And I know that her dad,
Did her dad touch her?
yes, I'll send you the email she sent me that I exposed him with. See, the thing is, I did the wrong thing by exposing him because I didn't expose him to try to get him arrested because he did wrong things. I exposed him as a weapon because she wouldn't tell the truth about me. Because, see, what happened is her friend Maddie Boa, who was supposed to go to Virginia with me, she couldn't go because she was on probation because she got busted selling methamphetamines. She had a crush on Natalie and Alicia. She had had a lesbian relationship with Alicia, and she wanted the set, as she put it. So when I was sitting in the back of the police vehicle, when I got stuck in the middle of the road there in Virginia, I read the word stalker. It said that I was stalking a male resident of that household. I didn't even know there was a male in the household. Well, I did. I knew that her little brother lived there. But I mean, it wasn't a stalking thing. It was a fucking, this phone that you gave me for my birthday is fucked. And so the cops broke the fuck out of my vehicle, by the way. They promised me they weren't going to tow it, and they did. And anyway, I texted Natalie and Alicia both, and I let them know, hey, because I could see in my head how it is that they would take it that way. I mean, here's this dude who's texting all sorts of fucked up shit, pulls up at your house, pulls in front of it, and he's honking the horn. I mean, yeah, if I was a woman, I'd be fucking scared shitless, wouldn't you? So I mean, it's exactly, you know, I understood how they could take it that way. So I let them know, if you guys and your family are scared of me, let me know. I'll leave and I'll never talk to you again. And Natalie called me up and she said, Sean, I love you, and you know, that's not going to change, but my family's scared of you, so never talk to me again. So I blocked her and her sister on Facebook, and I left Virginia that day. I called Maddie Boa to explain to her what was going on. And when I got a hold of Maddie Boa, it ended up being a fucked up situation because she didn't want to hear it. She just assumed. She let me know that Alicia told her that I threatened her family. I did not threaten her family. I got stuck in the middle of the fucking road. So,
Do you have, hold on 1 second.
Go ahead.
Do you have proof that you blocked them?
Yes, ma'am.
That is important.
I'm aware. I'm well aware of that. That's the thing.
Because what that comes down to is, no, you weren't stalking anyone.
No, see, that's the thing. This is the part where it really gets fucked up, all right? When I got back to Boulder, Maddie Boa had gone around to all of her little customers, like Derek Apodaca and people like that. And by the way, I was also in jail with Irish. Irish is the one that she was getting the meth from. I know. So anyway, Irish filled me in on a lot of shit that's really fucked up too. But that's not part of the story for right now. When I got back to Boulder, I got to hear from these meth heads coming out of the woodwork telling me they heard I stalked some girl in Virginia. And that was fucked up on its own. Do what?
Mariah was one of them.
Who was?
Do you remember I walked up to you? And because Mariah had put something in, I know you're liking her right now.
No, the part that you're talking about, I do remember.
So I do not want to go this way.
The part that
she immediately, when there was Natalie Bollinger missing, she put something on that you were a stalker and crazy ass.
I remember she unfriended me and she told me fuck you and this, that, and the other. But that's the thing, is that immediately after they found out that I wasn't the one that killed her, she apologized for this. What I'm talking about is a whole year earlier. When I first got to Boulder, go ahead.
Because I fucking wrote to her on Facebook. I said, until the jury finds someone guilty, you do not put this shit up there. And I saw you 2 days later.
Yes, ma'am. I remember that. I remember you were telling me that there were like 3 or 4 people that were completely anti-Sean. I remember that. But the part of the story that I'm at is still a year earlier. When I got back to Boulder, it was still a year earlier, a year before Natalie was killed. And when I got back to Boulder, I got to hear people saying that I was a stalker, that I had stalked some girl in Virginia, and Maddie Boa had said so. And as a result, they were threatening to assault me and threatening to kill me, and it was pretty fucked up, so I left.
It's out of you or whatever. Yes, I know.
The assaults didn't start until January. The first assault was January 8th of 2017.
Who the fuck hit you?
That's the thing. It was one of Maddie's. By that time, I'd been out of the loop for a while. I mean, I hurt my back almost a year and a half before that. I hadn't been out and about.
You realize I'm OG. Who the fuck hurt you?
That's the thing, is that, all right, well, Derek Apodaca is one of the ones that assaulted me. But a bunch of them fucking younger folks, I don't know their names. I wasn't familiar with them. I had literally been out of the loop for over a year. You know, they were all new faces. And most of them, I mean, half of the people that assaulted me in the year before she died, I knew who they were. I just don't know their fucking names. I'd have to go through a fucking police sketchbook thing and point out that's the guy that did it. But, you know, the thing is, by January, it had warped into I had raped some girl in Virginia, Maddie said so. And then I had molested some child in Virginia, Maddie said so. Natalie was a grown-ass adult by the time we hung out. I didn't even know her and her sister's name. I couldn't tell them apart until, you know, I got to know them. And it was very easy afterwards to tell the difference between the two, because Natalie had just a little bit of a crooked tooth. Just barely. And her sister didn't. And they also had different hairstyles by then. But the thing is, when I went back to Boulder, I couldn't see my friends and loved ones without running into some fucking tweaker who had heard some fucking rumor, and it just started off as I stalked Natalie in Virginia. But over time, it twisted into that other shit. Now, on Natalie's Facebook page, when she made that post about me, she said that I was stalking her, and immediately her friends jumped to the, you know, he must be a fucking, he looks like a child molester, he looks like a rapist, you know, he's probably a fucking this and a that. And I think it was at that point that she realized that I was telling the truth about the shit that was going on in Virginia. But also by that point, she had already gotten the protection order from, and the reason that I exposed her dad for doing the things that he did is because I was being assaulted for the things that her dad and Tim Beeson had done. I had been threatened and assaulted repeatedly in Boulder. I hadn't seen my older brother Rabbit in over a year and a half, and I don't give a holy god fucking damn if he's a meth junkie. He's still my fucking brother. You know?
Rabbit's a piece of shit right now, by the way.
He's what?
He's kind of a piece of shit right now.
I know, I've been hearing about it.
Don't worry, I slept with him. Anyway, besides that fact, someone else is getting hemmed up like you right now. I gotta find out his name.
There's a lot of people getting hemmed up like me. Go ahead.
Cato. Do you know Cato?
I do know Cato.
Yeah.
His name's John.
On fucking Craigslist. Stay away from this guy. He's a... Yeah.
It's his ex-girlfriend who's spreading that shit. It's because she's pissed off at him. That's the thing.
He doesn't want to dick her anymore?
Yeah, that's exactly it. But that's the thing, is that a lot of women nowadays use that to try to justify the things that they do. They try to use that as a power play. And that's exactly what Maddie Boa did. That's the thing. Natalie never said that I raped her. She never said that I molested her. She never said any of that shit. She never once.
Okay. Can I tell you my side?
Yes, you may.
John Fox. You know him quite well.
I do. when he was accused of killing his ex-girlfriend, I was like, there's no fucking way he was in jail. He went to jail 2 weeks before she was killed. Mobley wanted to take him up the mountain with a bottle and make sure he never came back down again. Now, John Fox
You know,
is definitely
I
not
was
perfect, but he
molested.
didn't kill her. He definitely didn't kill her. And if he's going to go down, he better go down for something he did. I'm not letting somebody go down for something they did not
Slow
do.
down,
And he
slow
didn't
down.
kill her.
Please, let
Sorry,
me
go
tell you
ahead.
what happened. This was long before Nicole.
Yes, ma'am.
I dated John Fox. I got a hotel room at America's Best. That's how you know how old this is, because it's not there anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
I bought whiskey, and I woke up and he was drinking a whole lot of it. And I said, "Hey, man, slow down." Pushed me over the bed. He strangled me until I could not. I was out.
Yes, ma'am.
So when I woke up, and I'll tell you why. For a fact, he's left-handed. So, like that.
Yes, ma'am. I know he beat up Nicole, too. That's what he was in jail for.
Yes, he did. And actually, Nicole was my friend, and I said, please never, ever get drunk with him. Please don't. And I don't know what's going on with this girl that he's with. I'm scared for her. But even the DA, when I went in and I said, can we drop charges? Dude, it was just, we were drunk and blah. And he's like, no. He's like, I've never even seen a girl who survived with the marks you had on your neck.
The border police need to get off their fucking ass. They need to get rid of them crooked fucking cops, and they need to put Officer Ramos in charge. They need to get fucking Steinman off the force. They need to get Lolatai off. What?
Ramos all day long. Panic, yeah, not so much. You know what? You're gonna hit me on this one. Steinman is almost kind of cool.
You know, that depends. That depends on if you're a male or a female.
Please tell me, because he fucking loves me. I think he has a crush on me.
Well, I've had a couple of women tell me that he's an alright guy. I really have. But I've also, from personal experience, I've seen him beat homeless people down. And you remember Officer French?
Oh, yeah, Baseline? Fuck yeah, I know French.
Well, he was a mall cop for a while. And Officer French was doing a bunch of immoral and illegal shit to the homeless. And 15 of us all went down there at once to the police annex to make sure that he couldn't do that again. And they removed him from the mall because 15 of us went down there at once. But with Officer Steinman, like, they intimidated the shit out of anybody who tried to speak out against him. If he assaulted somebody, they arrested any witness who was willing to come forward. I mean, they pulled some really fucking shady shit. He used to come down and brag about, you remember Ash? Got shot at the Boulder Hospital? Officer Steinman used to come down and brag about shooting Ash. And he didn't shoot Ash. He was just trying to instigate a fight with anybody who knew and loved Ash. You remember Ashley? Anyway, he also came down when a lot of our friends froze to death. He would come and harass me and Monkey and fucking say, did you hear about the frozen bumsicle we found?
Oh, yes, I've heard the bumsicle thing, and yes, I have pulled that on Steinman. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because Benji was one. Do you know he was a sex offender?
I didn't know he was a sex offender.
Look it up.
I knew that Leo was a sex offender. Melissa Rogers got a hold of me right after everything happened with Natalie and Natalie died, this guy got a hold of me and he was he was pretending like he was some sort of media outlet and asking me to be a journalist for him. And I took a look at his page and he's got Demon Dolls this and worked at a porn shop that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Who is that guy has been kicked off of Boulder Rights Watch. I know who he is.
Yeah.
It's Demon Dolls, Demon, all that shit.
Yes, ma'am. Melissa Rogers, I told her that she needed to see that's the thing is that Melissa Rogers is the one that let me know what's up. And she used the word family, and you know how I am with family. You say family, I come fucking running. So when Melissa Rogers said on...
I'm not kidding. Me and Mariah got him kicked off of everything. Because he was Demon Dolls and Demon this and XXX and all this shit.
Yes, ma'am.
Me and Mariah's one of my best friends.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, when she became my friend only a couple of days before Natalie disappeared. She became my friend because of Benji. Because I had been speaking out and saying that somebody that I knew was going to fucking freeze to death. Guaranteed. And the very next day, Benji froze to death. And Benji was good to me. He was my friend. I did not know he was a sex offender. But Mariah...
look up Texas. Unfortunately, I even showed Mariah.
Well, yeah, that's why Mariah closed down his Facebook.
He was my boyfriend for a minute.
Yep. Well, the point of that is that Mariah, with everything that was going on, and with that thing that Natalie had posted up, and with all of the rumors that people had been spreading around Boulder, I completely understand why Mariah thought what she thought. I 100%, if I'd have been in that position, I'd have done the same thing to me that she did to me. I literally would have, because she didn't know me. She didn't know me. You know me. She didn't.
No, Sean, I don't even know you that much. You were not convicted at that point, and I put it on to her because she goes off on this whole Trump shit and all this, and I understand and I fucking hate Trump, but you were not convicted, and I put it in her place, and I said, don't you dare.
She has been on my side ever since, Kelly. She has been 100% with me.
Perhaps might have been about me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I wholeheartedly agree. But the other thing is, like, there was one period of time there where I really thought, because of the stuff that she was typing at me, I was like, holy fuck, when did Mariah turn into an abusive male? And turned out that it wasn't her that was sending it. She went back to Nebraska to be with her ex.
Oh, that was Charlie.
It was Charlie, and he got a hold of her Facebook.
Shit out of her, and she came to my house.
He beat the shit out of her again. Yes, ma'am. I know. She let me know what was going up with that, you know. She apologized about everything. She did. Mariah, she doesn't hold back. She doesn't. And when she's wrong, she fucking admits it.
Right here. I love that woman.
So do I. I wanted to meet her in person. I haven't gotten to meet her in person. And I so want to. I do so much. I mean, she is a fucking badass. No joke. What they fucking did to her and what they did to her fucking kids, you don't fucking do that shit. She was homeless. You know that 80% of women who end up homeless are homeless because of domestic abuse, right? They get beaten up and they can't pay the bills. They end up homeless. I have had women come and tell me that the very same officer who rescued them from the man who was beating them fucking came and fucking harassed them when they were homeless. Are you all right? Yes, ma'am.
All day long. She's my best friend.
I know she is.
She's not allowed to see me because of her
Yes, ma'am, I
And
understand that as well, and I know
together
you do too.
that I have a picture of her playing guitar on this very couch. There's a lot of shit that happens to women and men.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, I just don't get it anymore. I want to fix what's going on in Boulder.
I'm trying my best,
Uh,
but I can't be in Boulder without getting assaulted by meth heads or the fucking cops. Like, literally, they threatened, harassed, and intimidated everybody who tried to help me there. My friend Candace Dale, I've been friends with her for over 20 years. Her brother, Chance Dale, was my best friend for the year that he died. He got into a car accident drinking and driving. Candace was scared fucking shitless when Officer Michael Beard came and fucking harassed her, especially after the phone call the day before. Candace was fucking scared shitless, and I am so pissed off at Candace because of the shit she pulled. But at the same time, she's got fucking kids, and they threatened to throw her out in the fucking January snow. I mean, this is some really fucked up shit.
well, what can we do?
You know, I
I don't.
rescued Desiree twice from Cheyenne. That's where I'm at right now, is Cheyenne, Wyoming. I can't see any of my loved ones because the police who
She's
didn't do their
not
job,
that the second time.
you
I love
know,
Desiree.
you know addictions. It's fucking tough for those people to quit. Did you know I was an alcoholic? I quit drinking when I was 21. The only way I made it through fucking racist Redneckville, Chapel, Nebraska is by fucking drinking. Doug
Hello?
Rayfeld and his roommate Larry, if I bought them a bottle of cheap Barton's vodka,
Oh, Larry, that's with
different
Amy.
Larry, different Larry. This is Chapel, Nebraska I'm talking about. That's how I made it through racist Redneckville, Nebraska, is by fucking drinking my way through. That is because I grew up with minorities. I didn't know shit about fucking white society. I got dropped off there at fucking 15 years old. I'm like, holy fuck. These people blame everything on blacks and Mexicans, and there's no blacks or Mexicans here.
Not Boulder.
Not in Chapel,
But
Nebraska either. The closest we had to either one was Lupe Hiracha. And that man is fucking stand up and steadfast. He's a good man. He served in the military. He was a tank commander.
hey, can I interject really quick?
You can.
I'm not really happy with Darren O'Connor
He's
anymore.
he's got a lot on his fucking plate. And I'm pissed
He's
off at him
taking on
too.
too much shit. NAACP, my family, my dad was Black Panther. White as I am. But he's pulling all this shit, and some of the people who he's videotaping are sitting there going, "Oh, it's been 4 months and I haven't gotten a place."
I
Welcome to
get
my
that.
place.
You were
8
homeless
years
for 8
later.
years before you got a place. I know. I know. It was 8 full years. I remember going down there and visiting with you, trying to make sure that you guys were all right. And it wasn't just you, though. I mean, I looked out for everybody. I made my rounds. I passed out blankets like clockwork every night because Boulder County Cares stopped passing them out at fucking 10:30. People got off the bus at 11 from Florida in flip-flops and shorts. This is their first experience homeless. This is the first time they've seen snow. I used to tell them that the cocaine factory blew up. You know?
Yeah.
And I used to go around like a responsible person. Every morning, I would walk around to all of those places where I knew that these people slept, and I would wake them up before the cops got there to give them a ticket. When I saw Natalie and Alicia when they were 14 years old, you remember Emery and Arturo?
I live right next to my grandson. Trust me, I know Emery.
Holy fuck, he's still there?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
He's almost like my boyfriend. because he fucking takes care of me.
Emery?
Mike Ratzlaff.
All right. Fucking Emery, these girls were 13 at the time, 13 or 14. And I caught Emery and Arturo, each one of them in a sleeping bag with one of those girls. Natalie was in one and Alicia was in the other. And I told them those two girls, I told them they needed to go straight the fuck home. And I went and got Zach Boatman to help me get those two boys out of town. And every time that I saw them after that, they were always only there when there were cops nearby. That is the only time that they would show up when they saw me. They knew what they did was wrong.
What? Are you talking about Zach?
No, I'm talking about Emery and Arturo being in sleeping bags with 13-year-old girls.
Oh, Emery?
Dude Emery.
Because Mike went out with Emery.
Different Emery. Do you remember Wings?
I know who Emery is. He got her pregnant.
Yeah, and the baby died, and she fucking went crazy after that. Yeah. Same Emery. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Emery and Arturo. Emery was in a sleeping bag with with Alicia or Natalie, and Arturo was in another sleeping bag with the other one.
Little girls?
Little girls, yes ma'am. And I let them know that they needed to get the fuck out of town. I went and got Zach Boatman. Yeah, he's crazy as a motherfucker, and he thinks he's Lucifer, but he's big. Zach did not do anything bad to those girls. Zach helped me scare Arturo and Emery out of town over doing that. And I didn't see Natalie or Alicia for years after that. I finally saw them fucking... They were 17 at the time when I saw them again. I didn't know how old they were. I knew that the two guys they were walking with were at least early to mid-20s, much older than they were apparently, but I figured Natalie and Alicia were 18 by that point. However, when I saw them next after that, and one of them came up, ran up, gave me a hug, and the other one was fucking ecstatic to see me, and they both told me to hit him up on Facebook, and I did, and I didn't see him for a while after that. Do what?
Motherfucking kick his ass.
Don't kick his ass. Fucking spread the word. Jesus Christ. I have to let you go for just a minute, but we started this conversation because you needed to talk about CJ. I need to piss like a racehorse. I'm going to call you back as soon as I pee, okay?
Okay.
All right. Be safe, Kelly. I love you.
I'll be safe, and I'm about to kill some people.
Don't do that.